How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Let's talk about the sound typing. Now, what am I talking about? Well, Pokemon has long had this rumored idea of there being a sound type, right? We have fire, water, etc. But for the longest time, people wondered, wait, what if we just had a sound typing? I mean, there's Pokemon like Wishmer who could definitely use a sound typing. And there's lots of like normal type Pokemon that could fit better with a sound typing. I mean, hey, I don't know about you guys, but giving Noivern sound typing makes a lot of sense to me, for example, or Noibat or something like that. Like any of those Pokemon that sound typing would fit well with, just never got one. But there is a theory running right now that is specifically connected to both Winds and Waves and Pakopia that I want to tell you about because it is kind of crazy. So we're going to start from the beginning because there is something that people have completely looked over that now has been kind of revealed, and nobody else has seemingly noticed this. But look at this post right here. Now, this was a post that was shared by Light. Now, Light posted this on the 11th of February. Okay, 11th of February. Now, this was well over half a month ago at this point, as of me recording my video. And he said that there was a rumor, and I don't remember where he found this rumor. I think it was a 4chan post. But specifically, the rumor said, and he says Gen 10, but, well, we kind of know this is not the case right now, which is Gen 10 rumors. A Squirrel Chef-style Pokemon, and an electric ghost Pokemon themed around a sound or speaker. Now, we thought this was Gen 10, and whoever posted the leak seemed to have thought this was Gen 10, but ladies and gentlemen, we now officially know that this is not two Pokemon for Gen 10. Remember, this was posted on the 11th. This was way before the information I'm about to reveal to you, which is that we are, of course, getting the Rotom DJ, or DJ Rotom, which, ladies and gentlemen, an electric ghost Pokemon themed around a sound or speakers. It's literally this. So this leak was real. This leak was 100% real, okay? 100,000% real. Let me see. Pakopia Greedent is the next one you have to see because, ladies and gentlemen, the other Pokemon that was revealed to also be getting a new form is Greedent. What does it say? A Squirrel Chef-style Pokemon. There he is. He literally is Chef Dente. I mean, Chef Dente. I think that's the full-on name. Right, Chef Dente. Literally. Chef Dente is the head chef of Greedent NPC who teaches Ditto recipes in the world of Pakopia. Keep reading to learn more about the Chef Dente. And yes, he's literally a guy who you meet. And guess what? He is the Squirrel Chef Pokemon. But why is any of this important? Well, because this leak was correct and there was hints towards a sound typing. But ladies and gentlemen, why would this matter? Well, this Pokemon right here, this version of Rotom, being a DJ Rotom, adds this question of why are they making all these new forms and adding them into Pakopia? Because remember, when they make new forms of Pokemon, they're very limited. And the fact that Koei Tecmo, the people that are making Pakopia, get the freedom to go around and just make all these things, like these drastically new forms, is kind of wild, okay? It's kind of crazy, to be honest. Like, it's not something small, it's pretty large scale if you really think about it. So a lot of people are wondering, okay, well, how are they allowed to do this? Well, maybe because these forms are going to be the actual games themselves. But it's not the only thing. Like, Pakopia is not the only thing. We're going to come back to Pakopia in a second. There's another big thing I want to tell you about, which I think is more likely hinting at this. And that is going to be Winds and Waves itself and the starter Pokemon. Now, this is a theory I've read a few times already, a bit of a speculation about the starter Pokemon, specifically shared to us by Pokemon Millennium, who says that in their previous post, they speculated about the possible design inspirations of the evolutionary lines of the Gen 10 starters, right? So the three starters, Ralts, Pombon, and Gekwa. Now, what is the actual speculation? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the speculation that they are kind of assuming here or thinking about is it possible that Brault is based on the Kakapo, which is literally a bird that cannot fly? It is a green bird that cannot fly. It has no way of flying. It has no ability to fly. It's literally just stuck on the ground. And, I mean, look at it. I mean, look at this thing, right? It's possible it's based on that. Or Pombon being based on a Pomeranian dog breed and a mythological creature, Barong, right here. This thing, right? And then the last one being Gekwa, being based on the Tokai Gecko, which is this fella right here. So that's the theory. But the question then is, now, what does this relate to the sound typing? Well, these starters might share a unifying theme, that being music, or more generally, sound. Why is that the case? Well, because Brault, or the animal, the Kakapo are famous for their lecking, right? which is basically a system where a male uses their call to attract a female. Right now we can look this up, the definition of this bird, right? So this is a form of mating. Basically, lek is an aggregation of male animals gathered to, well, I guess that's unrelated, but basically it is when they do a sort of sound, right? Basically, it's often utilizing burrows dug into the ground to amplify the sound. So it's basically noise they make to attract females, right? So that's related to sound. The second one, pombon, or pombon, which is based on barong, right? This mythological creature. In Balinese culture, the barong doesn't exist without its music. The barong dance is intrinsically linked to a percussion instrument orchestra. Additionally, during the dances, an iconic sound is the noise of its jaw. So again, related to sound. And then last, we have Gekwa, which is based on the Tokai gecko. As we already mentioned in the water starter dedication post, they say that the male Tokai gecko emits a very onomatopoeia and distinct call, practically a vocalization. So Gekwa, vocals, a voice, right? Pombon, rhythm, dance. And Ralts, amplification or bass. Keep in mind, they've done this before. In specifically Pokemon, well, actually, every Pokemon game, they pretty much do this. But if you want to take the closest example, would be Galar. In Galar with Pokemon Sword and Shield, they based the starters around this idea of entertainment, right? Cinderace was the football player, because that's, a big entertainment sport in, the UK. They based Inteleon around, well, movies. He's a movie star. He's supposed to be 007, a spy, a form of entertainment, a movie star almost. And then finally, Rillaboom was a drummer, a musician, punk rock drummer, literally the birthplace of, punk rock, LUK, my friendo. So, ladies and gentlemen, is it possible that all the starters are based around sound typings because we're going to get a sound typing of some sort added? Again, it's very much a possibility, okay? It's very, very much a possibility. It's very, very much a thing that I think could happen. And this leads us back to the whole idea of, again, Pakopia. And I've seen a few other theories about this as well. Also, by the way, the Pomeranian dog, by the way, is not the only possible inspiration. There's also the New Guinea singing dog, which could be the evolution for Pombon, which again, listen to the name, the singing dog. It's all about music. It's all about sound, right? And sound mixes perfectly into the theme of Pokemon Winds and Waves, right? Winds and Waves. How does sound travel? Through air. It has to go through air. Sound through water struggles to go through it. Has a harder time. Can still somewhat go through it, but much harder. Ladies and gentlemen, it makes total sense. This is the perfect time to bring in a new typing. We haven't had a new Pokemon type since X and Y. It's been a long time, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a ludicrous amount of time since the last typing, and this is the perfect time to bring something new in to shake things up, especially because this game will most likely not have a competitive scene because of Pokemon Champions. All the competitive Pokemon stuff is moving to Champions with a different development team. So with with Winds and Waves, they don't have to do as much balancing, which means they can add a whole new typing without worrying about how it's going to affect balancing and stuff in the game. They can make it far less reliable on those sorts of things. And again, if we go back to Pakopia especially, we can see right here that this post, this from Game Rant, they actually had a whole thing about it as well, saying that, hey, one of the games featured in the presentation was the upcoming Cozy Life Sim spin-off Pakopia. They go on then and say that Pakopia's Stereo Rotom is begging for the sound type. Although Rotom has largely come to be associated with possessing the player's Pokédex in recent generations, the electric ghost-type Pokemon has historically been able to possess all kinds of appliances, including fans, ovens, refrigerators, lawnmowers, and even washing machines. You guys know Rotom Wash, my favorite. When taking the form of different appliances, Rotom's ghost type swaps with whatever type is most commonly associated with that appliance. So, Fan Rotom, electric flying. Heat Rotom, electric fire. Frost, electric ice. Mow, electric grass, and Wash, electric water. Going by this logic, the new Stereo Rotom form that the DJ Rotom takes on in Pakopia would likely have a different type to take the place of Ghost when it's possessing the appliance. Although it technically doesn't exist yet, Sound type would be the most logical choice for a Stereo, potentially teeing up the franchise to introduce a new type in Gen 10. And Pokemon has a history with sound type rumors. Yes, arguably, the most popular fan-made Pokemon type is the sound type. I mean, we already know this. They've been Literally, people have been asking this forever, and it is the perfect timing right now to do that. It's the perfect time to go about doing it. And we've seen other people saying it as well here, like Mirai Draw saying Stereo Rotom's design looks way too suspiciously similar to its other battle forms to just end up being a Pakopia only thing, lol. None of the other Rotom gadgets, Dex, Phone, Bike, we have gotten before resembled this battle form this much, which is true. It looks very similar to the other forms that we have of the other Rotoms, right? Very, very similar to them. So again, is it possible that the sound typing is finally ready to show up? This could be the time for it. This could be the moment for it to appear. Honestly, it makes the most amount of sense, at least to me. I could be completely wrong, but I do think it makes the most amount of sense, and sound typing is just about time for it to show up. It's something that would fit. I mean, they even list out a bunch of Pokemon right here. As you can see, we have Pokemon that could fit with it, like Wishmer, Loudred, Exploud, Chatot, right? Maybe giving a Chatot a new evolution too. Audino, Timpole, Palpitoad, Seismitoad, Obstagoon. Shit, that's just a few of them. You could even give, like, I mean, you can make a regional variant of Noibat and Noivern and give them specifically the sound typing instead. Anything is possible is what I'm trying to say. There's so many possibilities, so many things, and it's been a while since the last typing was introduced with fairy typing, so it's about time we get something like this. Again, it's all, theory, speculation, but I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out, and bye-bye.